So today we're going to be doing a TPMS service. We're going to be checking and see if it needs a sensor, if this tire right here that's low, if it just needs air, or if it needs a seal. But I got this Tech 400. It's the Bartec TPMS tool, and it has done everything that I throw at it. Easy to use. Let me get a quick focus on the screen. This is the home screen. New TPMS sensor service, resume TPMS service from prior services you did, service history also, the toolkit, and then information on your tool. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started. The car we're gonna work on today is a Scion XD. I think it's a 2003, but I'll show you guys the tools I use and how to hook it up. Alright guys, so first things first is we're gonna go ahead and remove the cap, and let's check for proper air pressure. So this one has 30 psi. Okay, we're gonna check this one here on the passenger front. So that's 34. Alright, we're gonna check this one on the passenger side rear. 32. Let's check this one here on the rear. 35. Alright, to go ahead and figure out how much air, the proper air you need in your tire, open up the driver's side door, and there's usually a placard here that says tire and loading information, and it'll tell you how much psi each tire needs, front, rear, the size. This one looks like it's been modified, but this is what it should have right now: 36 in the rear, 36 in the front. So these are the tools we're going to be using. Like I said, the Bartec 400, the Pro Series, and this is the cable we're going to hook up to the OBD port, connected to the Bartec tool. And I'll show you guys the process. This is called the test before touch. So we're going to test after checking air pressure to make sure which tires are low, or if they're all inflated to the correct psi, which right now the front driver side is like 3 psi off, so that's what's probably setting the light. I know it's not much, but we're gonna check it right now, make sure the all sensors are working properly. So this end here connects to this bottom port with the Bartec tool, and now this end will go onto the OBD of the car. Bartec tool on. You got your prompts that come up, Bartec USA, the TIA tech tips inside. What I love about this Bartec Pro Series is that it'll walk you through every step of the process. You turn it on, you select what you have to select. Let's say a new TPMS service, whether you're trying to diagnose a messed up sensor or you're trying to program one, it'll walk you through the steps. Like, it'll tell you first you need to test the sensors. After that, you're gonna need to start at this wheel position. Next one. It'll tell you the processes on relearning. This tool gives you all the information needed, which is something great about this tool. So we have here, let's scroll. So this is your up and down button to scroll. This is to test the sensors. This is your home button, and this is your enter. This is to go back. So we'll be starting on new TPMS service for this vehicle, and we can select by year, make, model. And I'm just scrolling down. It has all these models here. Okay, there's not one that I didn't have on here. It has everything. Or you can select by VIN the kit, which is with the adapter that I showed you from the tool. It hooks on from the tool and it goes into the OBD port, which what we will be doing today, and it gets the VIN number and it gets the exact year, make, and model, so you won't have any kind of problems by selecting. Let's say, oh, it has a 4-cylinder engine, a 6, an 8. You select by VIN the kit, and right away you'll pop up with what year, make, model, size engine it is, everything. So I like doing select by VIN the kit. And as you can see, we push enter, and it'll tell you right here, connect tool to OBD port, turn ignition to the on, not start, but to the on position. Press enter, and then it'll start looking up the vehicle for you. So we're gonna be working on that Scion 2009 Scion, but let me show you a different vehicle real quick, and let's select by the year, make, model. Let's go with Acura, this one, 2008. And then I'll have, you know, test sensor. You could relearn, or you could program sensors. This is just an example. Let me show you the relearn. So what I was talking about earlier is that it guides you through everything. That way you don't have to, like, let's say, buy another book for it or look on the computer. It'll tell you right here. It says TIA references all tires are inflated to the pressure listed. Drive vehicle speeds above 15 miles per hour for 40 seconds. And then the sensor IDs will be learned automatically. So on this year, make, model, you put the sensors on there, and it's telling you that that's a process of relearning. It'll also give you program sensors, and then it'll give you the options that it covers. Either you have the right sensor, the Schrader sensors, the ready sensors, dill, alligators, which is what I use, and those are the sensors it covers, which is a lot of sensors. So let's say we would choose this one, and then it'll tell you which one that car needs. It needs a 315s. You can either use a snap in, or if you got a clamp in hand. And then it'll tell you here, create ID, clone or copy an ID, and enter it manually. We'll do that stuff. I'll probably have a vehicle in here later where we'll create an ID or clone one. Okay, let's see. Let's go to create, and it tells you here, place the sensor, snap in front of the tool, press enter to program or escape to cancel. And like I said, this tool, as you can see, is walking me through this, telling me what to do so I can get the job done right. So same thing right here, copy or clone, place tool near original sensor, then press test to read. Now if you're going to clone a sensor, then obviously the old sensor has to be working, and it has to pick up the original ID, and then you could put the old ID into the new sensor that you want to program. That way you're not making up a new ID for the vehicle. It gets a little complicated, but once you get the tool and you start working with stuff, you get it pretty quick. So let's go back so we won't be off topic, and we'll start with the go all the way back. Or I could just push home. So we'll start with the new TPMS service, and then select by Vindicate. Alright, so we're right here in the driver's side. That's your OBD port right there. So we're gonna go ahead and connect that in to the OBD port. Now that it's connected, I'm gonna go ahead and get our key, turn it to the on position, where all your lights are, you know, flashing, the car's not on. And then we're gonna go ahead and push enter. And you see right there, it's reading the VIN. Check. 2009 Scion XD, press enter to confirm. Yeah, that's what we're working on here. So we're gonna scroll through this. OBD diagnostic, we're not gonna do that. Right now, we're gonna test sensors. That also has options to relearn and to program sensors. So for now, we're gonna test the sensors. Now the tool prompts us to go to the driver's side front tire. So we'll go ahead and remove this cable, and we'll take the tool over there. It's the tool directly like near the TPMS sensor, because this is where the sensor is located. So we're gonna place the tool here and push this red button, and it's right now it's searching for the signal, which it did capture the signal of the TPMS sensor, which says that this sensor is good, and it's telling us the PSI also. So I'm pretty sure this is the one that's going to be low. Now next, it shows the arrow on the right front. So now we're gonna take this tool, take it to the right front tire. Okay, again, sensor's here. The tool has to be, you know, next to it. Push this button. Prompts us that battery's okay, 33 psi, so this sensor is good and working too. Now it tells us to go to the rear passenger. Okay, sensor with the valve, our tool, push the red button, 32 psi, which the sensor is working. If it wasn't working, it would have an X or it would say malfunction, try again. But since it's prompting us, we're all ready to go to the next tire. This sensor is working good. .33 psi on this one, and now it's saving the data. All sensors red, and they're all working. So I usually put continue, and we could scroll through and look at the first one we started with, which is the driver front side. That's the one you start with first all the time. Front passenger, rear passenger, rear passenger, and then rear driver. And it tells you right here, battery okay, next one, battery okay, okay on the battery, and okay on the battery. So the next thing will be, if everything seems good here with the sensor, we probably have a nail, or there's probably a leaky seal from the valve stem on this one. Even though these are, you know, not too far off, 2 psi away from this one, this is the one that's probably going to give us the problem. Maybe a little air leak or whatever. So we'll check that out. Jack up the vehicle, secure it with jack stands, and bring it down. So now it's secure. Let's take off the lug nuts. Alright, we gotta go ahead and check for any nails or whatever causing a very, very slow leak. Let's dump it in the water. Check to see if any air bubbles come out. Alright, so we found really no big air leak. Those little bubbles here and there coming out of like the bead area, but that was just because we dipped it in the tire. Where I did see some bubbles coming out was here, but what we're gonna do, just to make sure like the tire is completely sealed, like I said, we didn't find any nails or anything, no major air bubbles when we dipped it in the tank. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and change out the do the kit service for it, which is the valve core, a new nut, and then a new seal. So this assembly is sealed up, even though no bubbles came out of here. I mean, we're gonna go ahead and change it just to make sure. I use the Alligator TPMS universal kit, and this is what the box looks like. I got this from eBay, but I used a lot of Alligator products. We did put these sensors on around a year ago, and this is the sensor that this Scion takes. So this is a blank sensor, by the way. So it comes with the new little screw here, the seal, washer, and then the nut, and it comes with the valve core, valve cap, and of course the sensor. And that this is a blank sensor, so this has to be programmed to the vehicle. You could program it, you could copy it, again with this tool here, the Bartec tool. All this works good. That's why I use this. It's a lot simpler for me. I mean, I like using these Alligator products. And then this, which is a universal kit. This is what it comes with. It comes with a new washer, seal, 2 gray seals, which depending on what type of vehicle you're working on, type of seal you're going to use, and then a new nut. Alright, so back here on the laptop, and on the Alligator website they have these service manuals. So under the Scion XD, which is highlighted, this is a 2009. So I'm highlighting the Scion XD 2008 to 2014, and it tells you what radio frequency it needs, which is a 315. The sensor, the universal sensor that it needs, 5908882, which I showed you earlier. And then it shows you the foot-pounds that it needs to torque the nut. It's at 35, which is this one here. And then it shows you what type of universal kit we need, what type of kit we need to use. So the U1-1. So with the kit, that box comes this little manual here, and as you know now, we got to use the U11. So it says to use this gray one, the big gray one, no washer, not the black one. And then it tells you torque it to 35 foot-pounds, which is, that's what it said on the laptop. 3 inch-pounds, sorry, 35 inch-pounds, 3 inch-pounds for the valve core. The nut is going to be torqued to 35 inch-pounds also, and this is the orientation it goes. So we have the sensor, and then we have the seal, and then the nut. So that's what we're going to go ahead and change out. Alright, so this TPMS valve nut is a size 11. Go ahead and take it out. Hold the valve, the sensor over here so it won't break. This is a steel rim, so I mean, it's got a cover. We're not worried about scratching it up, although we don't want to scratch it up. And this is what it comes with. Like the sensor I showed you before, it comes with this screw, the sensor itself, the seal, and then the valve nut with a washer stuck onto it. So we're gonna go ahead and change this washer, the nut, the valve core, and the cap on this sensor, since this is a working sensor. Alright guys, so this is the TPMS tools that I use. This is a Steelman TPMS service kit. So it comes with this one here, and it comes with already preset inch-pounds, 65 inch-pounds. The one I just removed the other one with is at 40 inch-pounds. Then it comes with the 2 sockets, 11 and 12. So we're going to go ahead and use this to remove the seal. These are for the torquing the nuts. I mean those little screws, 35 inch-pounds. And then this one's preset to 12. And we got, I bought this separate. The Torx that you're going to have to use, the Torx bits there. So let's go ahead and get started on that. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and use this end. Slide this through. And then the seal comes up and out. Okay, so we're going to discard the seal and the washer. Make sure this is clean. Alright, so remember it told us to use the U11, so we're going to use the new nut, the gray seal, and then we're going to discard this black one and the washer because we're not going to use this. And we'll keep this valve core and the valve cap because we're going to use it afterwards. And it also tells us here, guys, 35 inch-pounds torque, 3 inch-pounds for this valve core, so we're not lost, and you know, we don't have problems later on it leaking out on us. So let's go ahead and change this. Alright, so let's go ahead and clean this valve off. It's not that dirty. So we're gonna use a gray one. To push this in, we use this side. That's seated in there again. And then we're gonna use the nut. Alright, so we're gonna go ahead and clean where the valve seats, clean the hole. Just to make sure it's nice and clean. This rim is nice and clean, so we don't have to worry about that. Okay, so now that we got the new seal and the new nut, we're gonna go ahead and put this through the hole. And that kind of all lines up to where it should be. Go ahead and put the nut on top. Just make sure everything's nice and centered. Get our tool. Remember it's at 35. Uh-oh. This is number 12. The number 11 we used it prior. Now this is number 12. Let me change it real quick. Alright, so this is number 12 size socket. And all we're doing is holding this sensor here at the bottom, making sure it doesn't move on us, and tightening. And it'll click right now at 35 inch-pounds, or at 40. That's it. That's your proper torque. Doesn't go anymore. 40 inch-pounds. Seal is nice and tight here. This washer set. So now we can move on to the next step and putting the tire back on and inflating. Go ahead and get the torque tool. So this torques it to the 4 inch-pounds. When it clicks, it's set to the proper torque. Click, click, it doesn't move anymore. Doesn't tighten it. So 4 inch-pounds. The nut set to 35. I like to do a little bit more. I give it like 40 because the tool that I have is set to 40, and that's fine. The seal's not broken or anything. And this tire is ready to be placed back on the car. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and this needs 80 foot-pounds of torque on the lug nuts. So we're at 75, 80. I like to give it a little bit more torque. Alright, so we're gonna turn the tool back on, and like I said earlier, it saves the cars you already serviced. So this one should be already saved in the system, so we don't got to start over. So what we did was we changed the TPMS service kit because the customer had a slight leak in the tire. I didn't see any nails or anything, so the best practice now was change that service kit for it. So we'll go back down to resume TPMS service, and then scroll down to the 2009 XD, and we're gonna go ahead and test sensors again just to make sure they're functioning correct and we got more or less the correct same air pressure in all of them. .36 front. Let's go to the next one. .35. 35. This is the rear driver side. 36. All right, no more TPMS light, so the system's ready to go.